Hey, I'm back. This is Chandler for Melter Production, and today I want to talk about one of the modules in M Sound Factory and also in MXXX, and that is the Selector module. You might be wondering, like, what is that? And basically, what it lets you do is load up lots of different modules inside it, and then you can choose which one you want to use at a certain time. So, if let's say I had one oscillator I wanted to have as a super saw, I could do that, and then I could quickly switch into an FM module if I wanted to do that. So today I'm going to show you how to use it and maybe show you some cool things you can do with it, I hope. So here we just have selector, boom, put it in here. And let's actually, I don't want too much high end. So what I'm going to do is just use a bandpass filter outside of this. Set this to maybe like 5 octaves up. Turn this down. Seems cool. Back inside our selector here, I'm going to hit this plus, and I'm going to add whichever module I want. So in this case, let's have an oscillator here. And I can program this just like normal if I want to. Pop this out. If I change this or not. That's good. And let's make this a super sauce. Let's turn this on. Fiddle with this, but I think this is fine. Okay. So I don't really want to spend too much time on the sound for this. So that seems good. Let's add another one in here. Should I try FM? Okay. Have FM module here. Make something. 3 oscillators. I just want something rich in harmonics. See what I can come up with. That seems good enough. And like I said, I'm not really doing too much here. Oh, another thing, I can increase the depth. And let's give it some stereo width. It's too loud there. I'm going to turn this down. What I want is the oscillator and the FM to be around the same volume. Tuning is too much. Move this down. Okay. And let's add one more. So you might be thinking like, okay, I can do like an oscillator, an FM, but what if I want to do something more complex? So let's get into that. Let's plus here, add something, and instead of adding one of these from here, like a sampler or granular sampler, let's try a modular. So inside here, we can add stuff and make whatever we want, basically. So what I'm going to do here is let's add some noise. Let's try to do something interesting. Volume down a bit. Okay. Then let's add a resonator. Low pass down here. Now I'll have to turn up the feedback. Try 98. 98, not 90. Okay. Now, try something else. Last time I talked about M-Turbo filter and some of the format filters. So let's go in here. Just choose one here. See if I can change this around a little bit. And make sure I'm not clipping. Yeah, I have to turn that down. Want to do more with that? Yeah, let's do a little bit more. Let's make it a little bit more interesting. So let's go in here. I'm going to add some vibrato to this here. For my vibrato, pull this out again. It's too small to see. Vibrato here. Let's ramp that up. Use one of the attack modules here. You don't have to do all this. I'm just kind of going through here. Thought it'd be interesting to try some interesting sound design. Try some new sound design. have this ramp up to here. And we can randomize this rate a little bit. Use random 1 here. Okay, so we have our 3 sounds in here. We have the oscillator, FM. No. So let's see what we can do with this. What we want to do is we want to be able to change this using an MP here. So what we can do is just go to MP1 here, click plus, look in our generator, which is where we are in here, generator. Open this in Selector 1. And instead of going into these, which we could mess with those, but let's go into here to Selector. Click OK. Now we have it here. Now it goes through this from 0 to 63. We don't want that. We want to change this to Banks mode here. Since we only have 3 different modules, I'm going to set the number of banks here to 3. We have 3 there. And let's just name them SAW, FM, and what was it? O. There we go. I want to set the mode to the names instead of percentages. So bank name like this. We don't want to interpolate the values. It won't do that anyways, but I'm just going to turn that off. And let's set number 1 here, the SAW, at 0. Let's set number 2 as, not point, at 1. And this 3, O at 3, like this. So now when we go between them, it should change them, as you can see in the menu there, hopefully. And as you see, if I hold it and move it, it's going to still hold that note. It's not going to change going through this. But when I hit a new note, so that's the way you can use the selector. If you want to blend between them, check out some of my other videos where I showed how to use the ratio. But this is the way you can do it. Just it'll change on the note, like that. So now that we have these different sounds, this is great. So if I made a device, I could switch between an oscillator, FM, modular. I can use this for samplers. I think this was originally made for the sampler, so you could use different articulations for different instruments, which is really cool. But I'm not really showing that today because I don't have samples. But this gives you an idea of what you can do. But let me show you something maybe a little bit more creative you could do with this. So I have this here, and instead of just leaving this and moving it manually, what I could do is use a mod here. So I'll click clear and learn and just move this. Boom. Turn it off, make sure it's on here. And now this LFO is going to move as I play, and it's going to move this. But one thing is now it's kind of moving to the frequency, but we can sync that up. Do that. Put the phase at 0 and let's set it at a bar. I don't know how fast the tempo is, but let's just try this. Now, I think a sine wave is probably not that interesting, but there's other things we can do, like step sequencer here. It has 8 numbers, but let's try 4, so it's quarter note. So maybe something like this, maybe interesting. Let's try this. But even this is probably not so interesting here because I'm not playing in time. But what we can do is use an arpeggiator like this. Let me make sure my volume's down. I don't know how loud this is going to be. So turn this down, play something, and let's hear it move through these as it's arpeggiating. Now let's try one that's maybe a little bit more interesting. I don't know if this is going to sound good, but let's try it. Okay. So, not the most musical thing, but I think there's some interesting creative possibilities you can do with that if you want to. So, basically, I just wanted to show this selector. I think many people kind of overlook this, and at first, you're kind of like, how do I use this? But by using it with the MP, you can easily switch between different sounds. Before, I was doing different things with a mixer, and it took a long time. This makes it really fast and easy to do. So, looking forward to showing this, and maybe I'll make some devices that use this. I think this really opens up lots of possibilities and create lots of new things, and not just use one oscillator or one filter, etc. I think this is really cool. So if you have any questions about it, leave them down below. Give me a thumbs up, and be sure to check out all the other plugins at melderproduction.com. Till next time, see you.